shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Here's what's trending now. You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of the special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/today. That's netsuite.com/today.
Larry Nassar, the former doctor convicted of molesting female gymnasts at Michigan State and with the U.S. gymnastics program, is in stable condition after being stabbed in a Florida prison Sunday.
One of his sexual assault survivors, former gymnast Rachel Denhollander, tweeted today, quote, "None of the women I've spoken with are rejoicing today. We're grieving the destruction across so much. We're grieving the reality that protecting others from him came with the near certainty we would wake up to this someday."
Fox's Brian Yennis. A state court judge has ordered Kansas to stop allowing transgender people to change the listing for sex on their driver's licenses. That follows a lawsuit by the state's attorney general. Kansas has allowed transgender people to change their driver's licenses for the last 4 years. And North Korea claims it's intercepted a U.S. spy plane.
Leader Kim Jong-un's powerful sister says to expect shocking consequences if the United States continues reconnaissance activities in the area. Kim Jo-jong saying in a statement, aircraft approaching what she calls North Korea's inviolable airspace might be shot down. She alleges a U.S. spy plane flew over North Korea's exclusive economic zone, the area extending 200 nautical miles from the country's coastline, before being chased away.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, the South Koreans denying the accusation. And one of the main events of baseball's All-Star festivities, the Home Run Derby, now just a couple of hours away.
The game's best sluggers will face off in a bracket-style competition at T-Mobile Park in Seattle at 8 o'clock Eastern. Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox is the 1 seed and will take on Baltimore Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman in the first round. New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso is a 2-time Derby winner. He clinched the 2 seed this year and will face one of Seattle's own, Mariners center fielder Julio Rodriguez.
The All-Star Game is Tuesday. That's Fox's Tony Genualdo. I'm Kevin Uretsky, and this is Fox News.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks ending higher as investors get in gear for key inflation data this week and for the start of second quarter earnings season. On Wednesday, a report will be released on the latest monthly inflation update at the consumer level, and economists are forecasting that consumer prices were 3.1% higher in June than a year earlier and down from 4% in May. The Fed has hinted that it may raise rates 1 or 2 more times this year to ensure that inflation returns to its 2% target. The Dow rising 210 points, the Nasdaq up 25, S&P 500 up 11. And Amazon stock falling 2%, but its shares historically rise after its Prime Day sales extravaganza. That will be taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday. Prime Day is a boon to Amazon's business. Last year, members purchased more than 300 million items worldwide, which was a record for the company. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/.
Glenn Latchley of Eagle Pest Control talks about a simple rule when it comes to protecting your home from pests.
Because when we do it right, it works. When you do it wrong, it doesn't work.
Sure, you may save money on those do-it-yourself chemicals, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're gambling with the value of your home.
We give them the best price because we want to put it down the right way so they treat it right, problem solved, no more issues.
You'll save money in the long run when you hire a professional like Eagle Pest Control to take care of any pest problem at your home. Eagle Pest Control and Chemical, where employees make the difference. Why not do business with a long-standing, local, and reputable team? Can't think of a reason? Well, then give them a call. The professionals at Eagle Pest Control have over 30 years of experience and a solution for ridding your property of any 4, 6, or 8-legged uninvited guest. From ants to termites, bed bugs to rodents, Eagle Pest Control can handle them all. Give them a call or schedule your free inspection online at eaglepestandchemical.com.
It's all too obvious. We're being distracted by meaningless news headlines. When you dig to find the truth, you discover that the American way of life is being threatened by the institutions we used to trust. It's easy to see the future holds more food shortages, systematic controls, and government overreach. But instead of throwing up their hands, folks are preparing. They're taking steps to be self-reliant and investing in emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy to get started and join the ranks with this limited-time offer. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and get their top-selling 4-week emergency food kit. Enjoy tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get new lower pricing this week on these 4-week emergency food kits. Secure at least one food kit for each member of your family. They ship free, too. Those who know what's coming are preparing. Smart folks. Go to mypatriotsupply.com right now. mypatriotsupply.com.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
It's the 5 o'clock Gold Rush Hour on Offsides, brought to you by Coin and Treasure on West Congress, where they buy and sell gold and silver every day.
You're listening to the best of Shannon is Offsides, right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
What's up, Acadiana, and welcome to Shannon is Offsides. I'm Shannon Wilkerson, here with Old School Nerd. Thanks for joining us for today's broadcast. We'll be with you till 6. It's currently 5:10, taking you home live and local on KPEL 96.5 FM. If you joined us in our 4 o'clock hour, welcome back to the 5 o'clock hour. If you are just tuning in, we've got Old School Nerd back. He took a week off for some well-deserved vacation time. Very impressive trip.
Time.
Yeah. Sounds like, as I mentioned before, I'm quite jealous. Hey, look, that's a good sign. So, Hunter Biden. Well, Hunter Biden has made his father, the president, very proud. He said that completely. He said that I'm very proud of my son. And he was very happy that Hunter pleaded guilty, to several different things. One of them being willfully not paying income tax. Now, in 2017 and 2018, Biden received taxable income in excess of $1.5 million annually for those 2 years.
Still don't know what he did for that, but okay.
No, that's exactly right. It would be very interesting to find out how China paid him.
But that's a different week of radio shows.
It certainly is. It certainly is. He did not pay income taxes on $3 million.
You think someone would have told him he should do that?
I would think that he would know that, considering that his father's the president now. And so it is very hypocritical, I would say, that they agreed to a misdemeanor. Now, willfully not paying taxes, standard is it is a misdemeanor, but in excessive cases, it can be raised to a felony. I would imagine that if I had the income that equaled up $1.5 million a year, and I didn't pay those income taxes willfully for 2 years in a row, $3 million, not paying the taxes on, I would go to prison. Okay, now he's facing up to 12 months in prison, and he's yet to be sentenced yet. Okay, so a judge can still come in and give him serious jail time. I don't think that's going to happen at all because a felony is standard 1 year. Mm-hmm. So right now, traditionally, he's facing 1 year.
He's facing 10 because he has multiple counts, but
Yep. Well, he got a plea deal. Okay. We don't know what the terms are of that plea deal. So I don't think that he would. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for his idiocracy. Who knows what the deal is? But his father's the president. The Bidens, just like the Clintons, can do whatever they want. Nothing ever happens to them. So I don't think he's going to see anything more than perhaps a fine and a probation period.
Yeah.
What do you anticipate?
Well, if he cuts a deal, pleads it down to a misdemeanor, it's gone in 7 years. If it's a felony, it's going to be there a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, when it comes to taxes, and you talk about willfully not paying taxes versus willfully trying to hide it from the IRS, that's when you get into felony situations. Because then you're doing conspiracy and defrauding.
Well, that's right.
It can get a little crazy.
That's tax evasion.
Somehow,
there's a difference between not paying and trying to evade paying taxes.
Potato. I think it's dependent upon the prosecutor.
Sure.
And they have to do something. This prosecutor is a Democrat, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Have to do something. So they have to do the smallest amount they can do to stop the story before it gets really out of control.
Well, I think that if he doesn't get any significant consequences, then I don't think the story goes away. I think that becomes the new story, because now people are going to trust the system, the court system, and the Bidens and the Democrats even more, distrust them even more. Yeah, he pled the deal, but he got a slap on the wrist. Look what they're doing. You know, they brought in a B-52 bomber for Trump, and for Hunter Biden, they're flying a kite. And I think that that's the way the country is going to see it.
No matter
I don't know if it's going to matter.
Yeah. I want to say this.
No.
This is going to sound weird.
Okay.
Follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Biden makes me a better parent because I can go to my kids and go, see, kids, life's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
See, kids, not everything is equal. See, kids, no matter what you do, at least you're not Hunter Biden. Makes me a better parent.
Okay. Of course, you could use Hitler.
They don't. They'd have to open up a book to know who that is.
Yeah, well, I hear you. Most of your children are the exception, but most children today would have to open a book to find out who Hunter Biden is. Otherwise, most young people today are like, oh, well, his last name is Biden. He's a Democrat. He's in it for us.
Oh, kids know who he is. He's an amazing artist. Haven't you seen his
that
work?
too. He's an amazing artist. They probably like him because he does coke. Okay, so he's pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax. Also entered into a pre-trial diversion agreement regarding a separate charge of possession of a firearm by a person who is unlawful user or addicted to a controlled substance, which we haven't even addressed yet. The videos that are available of him smoking cocaine, his behavior that's on video. What better evidence do you have? This was after a 5-year investigation.
This is all they got.
Okay. A 5-year investigation. I don't think that this is all they got. I think that they came in here saying, how little do we have to
That's
do?
what I said. They're going to do as little as they can because here's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
We've had how many government officials not get charged? Hillary Clinton. Just keep going on and on and on. And they have Trump looking at 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For stuff that even Obama says not really a problem because I've done that. Keeping letters as mementos is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. They're showing Trump what he needs to do. He needs to plead. And look, nothing's going to happen to you.
Right.
But his plea deal will be, these are all felonies. So if he plead deals, he can't run for president. That's all they want. They just want him to go away forever.
Actually, he can. He can. I had Kevin Stockstill on a couple of weeks ago. He brought in the case law. He can run for president as a felon, and he can be the president as a felon. The ironic part about that, consider this. You can have a president that's a felon. He can't even vote.
Yeah.
But he can hold the office. He can still run, and he can hold the office. Now, I think that their angle is,
they'll put it in there.
There's their campaign. That is the campaign foundation for whoever's running against him. You know, why would you elect a felon?
Because at least we know the crimes he did.
That's right.
The rest of you insider people
his skeletons,
have been doing it for years.
His skeletons are all out of the closet.
At least that's how he's been living for about 60 years of his life.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care. And I think that this is really going to be an example, like you just said. It makes you a better father, but the fact that you need to use the president's son as an example of what not to be, and then to have the president, you know, what angers me is not just what Hunter Biden did. All right, yeah, he did some bad stuff. For the most part, I don't care. I know a lot of people that have done a lot worse, but they didn't make that kind of money. All right, they didn't pay the taxes on $3 million over a 2-year period. Other than that, you know, the prostitutes and the drugs and the behavior, whatever. All right, it's the modern version of Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, but Biden makes me a better dad too.
That's true.
Because I look at him and I go to my kids and I say, kids, stop picking on Momo. Because I know she's forgetting stuff, but she could be president one day. I mean, look, it's obviously it's possible.
Hey, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Buck.
Buck, what do you think about this, man?
Well, first of all, anybody that thinks or that thought that anything significant would happen to Hunter Biden over this is crazy. But the big picture is, let's just go back to 2020 when the FBI had all of this information in their possession and told Facebook that it was Russian disinformation and they needed to quash the story during the election. So, you know, how does, you know, they had all this information. They could have prosecuted this kid 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But even with possession of the laptop and all the information that was on it, they told a major social media company to squash anything about this story because it was Russian disinformation when they had all the evidence. So, I mean,
well, you're right. They could have got him a long time ago. They could have, but not only did they not get him, like you just said, they instructed social media platforms to not carry it, lied to them saying that it was false, and they fell in line.
Well, like I said, after that happened, to think that anything significant would happen to this kid, it would be, you know, foolish at best.
The FBI has been doing this since the 1930s.
It is the two-tier justice system, who gets prosecuted and how they, you know, what they get. So it's like somebody, I think, it's a long time ago, I don't think our constitutional republic is here anymore. So we just got to deal with the cards we're played right now, I guess.
The FBI and the way that the bureaucracy of Washington has worked has been this way since the 1930s. When J. Edgar Hoover came to power in the FBI, he was there till he died. And no one was ever going to get him out. Normally, an FBI director lasts 4 years, 8 years, and they're done. He was locked in there for 37 years. The reason why? He had skeletons and schmear on everybody. And it's still this way today. So if anyone was shocked that all this is happening and we're all seeing it now, the only reason why is now everyone has a phone, everyone has social media. It's not just mainstream press. It's all these other.
Yeah. It's not just
exposing a little bit more.
It's not just it's not just Walter Cronkite and the New York Times. Everybody is a photojournalist. Everybody, and Hoover's a really good example. You know what else? He's the first person he's the first president that was trans. Yeah. Hello, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
This is Angie.
Hey, Angie. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's my first time calling. I just had
Appreciate that.
a comment to make.
Yes, ma'am.
I enjoy your show. Quick comment. Wasn't it Joe Biden that preaches to us, pay your taxes?
Pay your fair share.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah,
pay your fair share.
Yep.
Where is that, number one? Number two, what about all these other normal people, or even celebrities, I guess, that didn't pay their fair share and they ended up in jail for that? I'm going to hang up and let you talk about that.
Well, I thank you very much. It's an excellent point. This brings the whole pay your fair share position and platform to a grinding halt. The problem is that the mainstream media is not going to say anything like that, all right? The fact that he has pled to anything, they're going to blame that on Trump. None of them are going to call him out. Well, that's the thing. They will blame everything on the Republicans, or more specifically on Trump. Watch The View tomorrow if you could get through it. Guarantee they're going to be backing Hunter Biden. They're going to be praising him because he had the courage to plead guilty, unlike Donald Trump. That's how they'll twist it.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, this is all calculated. It's all set up to be that way.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I'm not surprised by any of this, but at the same time, I know why he didn't pay the taxes. He thought that was the money he was supposed to give to his dad. His dad was supposed to pay it. So
that's
he forgot.
Yeah. All right, 232-1542. We're talking about Hunter Biden, the speeding ticket he got today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Save money on your printing needs by calling Cartridge World today. Be sure to ask about their no-cost printer program. Call today at 337-984-9000 or email them at cartridgeworldusa.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. Pests in Louisiana are as unique as our state, and you need experience to keep the pests away. Did you know that termites are responsible for more than $1 billion of damage in Louisiana alone? And that super colonies have been discovered in Louisiana with over 1 million termites. Termites have insatiable appetites, and people just don't realize how much damage they can cause. J&J Exterminating is Louisiana's largest independent pest control firm and has been shielding what's near and dear for over 55 years. J&J has the experience, employees, and more licensed and certified technicians than any other pest control company in the state. J&J will study your soil composition and figure out the best treatment. We're the largest installer of the newest Centricon HD always active colony elimination system and the largest applicator of the Terminor liquid treatment. Trust J&J Exterminating to shield your home, business, and property 365 days a year with a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, people are advertising gold and silver coins and bullion. Problem is, it can take weeks to get your stuff, if it arrives at all, and you have to pay outrageous shipping charges along with jacked up prices. The solution? Go see Louis Pizzolatto at Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress, and get your gold and silver locally with less cost to you, and you'll leave with the product in your hand today, right now. Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress, where they buy and sell gold and silver every day.
It's the 5 o'clock Gold Rush Hour on Offsides, brought to you by Coin and Treasure on West Congress, where they buy and sell gold and silver every day.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
What's in his backpack? He's about to fall
Anything
over.
he might need. There's a box of tissues and Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
You don't have to be perfect.
Have a great day. That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have. To be a perfect parent.
There are 2 people who want you more than anything. They'll make mistakes, but they will love you more than you can imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
You're listening to the best of Shannon is Offsides right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
All right, everybody, welcome back. 232-1542, curious of your thoughts about Hunter Biden. This is another great example of how politics, our political representatives, our elected officials have just run amok. They have so much power now. We have totally lost control, in my opinion. And this is a good example. This is the president's son. He is the one that should be setting a higher standard. Look at this guy compared to Donald Trump Jr. Hello, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
This is Jason.
Jason, what are your thoughts?
my thoughts are, where are these liberals and extreme leftists that hate white privilege so much? They're ignoring this white privilege. And then the other thing is these leftists, they want to have stronger gun laws. Well, now you have somebody breaking gun laws, and y'all going to let them skate. So there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in this little soiree.
I think one of the biggest problems is since literally after 9/11, and I can say that, so what I'm saying by is after 9/11, we've had 2 Republican presidents, we've had 2 Democratic presidents in that time. And in that time, you can honestly say, since then, the Department of Justice, which should be completely impartial, has become completely political in a level that has never existed before.
Yeah.
And it should never be. The Justice Department is run by the executive branch. It's not supposed to be. It's under the judicial branch, but the people that work there work for the president. So how can you be impartial when you work for the person that you should be checking on, and you don't, because we're not holding, it is literally spun out of control now. The judicial branch should be completely separate.
Well, I tell you, the last 2 callers bring up some excellent points. What happened to pay your fair share, and what's going on? Why haven't we heard anything about Hunter Biden's white privilege? Okay, now look, if he was a Republican and the same circumstances were existing, they would be all over the white privilege situation. The only reason that he got this sentence is because he's white. Or if it was Donald Trump Jr., not only would be white, it would be because Trump is crooked. Now, as Old School Nerd just said, the Department of Justice and the FBI, now the FBI has always been dirty in some ways, but now their dishonesty is front and center. But nothing's going to happen. I'm surprised this much happened. Caller?
The FBI can... you're facing felony charges.
Yeah. Hey, you're breaking up.
In the FBI.
Yeah. Hey, you're breaking up. Call back, buddy. Hey, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Matt.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
Well, all I got to say is this. Everything goes to hell. And I'm sitting there with my family around that fire, eating that deer I just... in that bear blanket that I tanned and made myself. I would give anything at that point to see the elitist fight over that can of green beans and how to open it.
Well,
anything to find, to be able to see it.
Yeah, I would too. Unfortunately, it's just a it's just a daydream for us. It's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. And every generation says, "Oh, our country's going to hell in a handbag." They've been saying that since the 60s. All right, so ever since the 60s when we had hippies and they were smoking weed and rock and roll music and all these festivals and all this free living and everyone loves one another. There have been the older generation says, "Oh, my God, what has happened to our country?" And then the next generation says, "Oh, my God, what's happened to our country?" And it's just a thing, okay? It's always just been a thing that the older generation says, "Well, our country's just out of control." But I can tell you, this is different, okay? This is different.
All they're doing is trying to screw over people for a percentage. And in the end, what's that percentage going to give them? Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. They jack us up. Think about how many times a dollar that we have in the bank has been taxed. So they want more taxes, okay? Then they're gaining more and more control. And COVID was the illustration that shows how much control they actually do have.
Our dollars are taxed multiple times, and technically it should be against its own tax code. It should be unconstitutional, but the government's never going to check itself.
And then you die and they tax you some more.
Yeah,
that's right. Inheritance tax.
Yeah, there's they tax you when you make the money, They tax you again later when you spend the money.
Spend the
you tax
money.
it.
That's right.
Exactly.
It should be only taxed once, but
Taxation without representation.
yeah, it's just there are clauses in the U.S. code that say you're not supposed to tax monetaries over one time, but they do it all the time.
No, of course they're not going to tell themselves to stop. Okay, they're
and
not going to look
That's the
in the
problem
mirror.
with this now.
Right.
Now that the Justice Department has become political, there's no one to stop them. We've already seen what happens when a president says stop it. They ruin his life for the next 3 years after he's out of office.
Right.
So
and they're
how
still
do you-
coming after him. Okay,
So you can't stop it.
No, I mean, look what's happened just with President Biden versus President Trump. They raided Mar-a-Lago, went in there. Now they've charged him with several felonies. What is happening with Joe Biden? Joe Biden had unclassified documents right in his own garage, and nothing will happen to him. Nothing. Exactly. You know what would happen to you and I if we committed the same crimes as Hunter Biden?
Oh, we'd be done.
We'd be done. Okay, we'd be facing 10 years minimum.
Right.
Okay, maybe.
I heard about the Presidential Records Act, but I didn't know much about it. I went and I sat down and I read all of it. All of it. Even the changes when it was changed by Obama.
Yeah. Well,
I read all of it.
Well, hey, do what we say and not what we do. Those rules, when they wrote those rules, they didn't mean it for themselves, too. Okay, they wrote those rules for us.
And my arguments are not Republican, Democrat. Everybody's getting screwed over by this.
Everybody.
Absolutely.
The bureaucracy, the aristocracy of Washington having this much power where they can manipulate our elected officials means that we have unelected people running the country, and that should have never happened.
Yeah. Well,
when they can tell the Senate Oversight Committee, no, what? We elected them to oversee you, and they tell them, no, we're not going to do it. We don't have to.
What are you going to do? That's
Nothing.
what they eyeball
You can't
them.
do anything.
What are you going to do?
Y'all have a good one, man.
All right, thanks. Hey, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
It's me again.
Renee.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, hey, Renee.
I think the pandemic before COVID and swine flu.
Yeah. Back up. Do you have anything to say about Hunter Biden?
Yes, I think the country is Dunning-Kruger stupid and hypocrite. Like, you cannot tell people how many times a Biden's son has done wrong, but, it's Biden's son. He's cool. He's a Democrat. And you can't. Some people are like brick walls of stupidity. You can't tell people what's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Thanks.
We're surrounded by
All right. You got your one call a day, Renee. Hey, welcome to Shannon is Offsides. Who's calling?
It's Blaine. Hi.
Hey, Blaine.
How you been?
Well, I've been all right, but this is all very frustrating. Listen, Blaine, if they can go after Trump the way that they did, and then sugarcoat the situation with President Biden and Joe Biden, they can do whatever they want to you.
Well, that brings me to my point. They tax you on the income that you earn. They tax you with sales tax when you spend the money you've already been taxed, for earning. They tax you after you die. And if they can print all the money in the world, which they can and have and do, why do they need our taxes anyway? It's to keep us down.
It's it's control. It's to keep us down. All this malarkey about the billionaires paying their fair share and the multimillionaires paying their fair share. Why should they have to pay a higher rate than anybody else? I mean,
because they have more.
Because they've got more. They don't want them to have it. What they don't realize is that top 1% pays almost all of the taxes in the country. You know, if you push them down, you're not going to get the revenue that you want.
That's true.
They pay the majority of the taxes. And everyone's saying you got to pay their fair share. They are paying their fair share. Now, look, people will complain and say, well, this corporation paid no taxes. All right. The last few years, they paid no taxes. Okay. Change the tax code. You can't blame them. All right. If they had a tax code that allowed me to not pay any income tax, I wouldn't pay it. Yep. Neither would anybody else.
As a business owner, every time I get to
Jefferson, Shannon, he said paying more taxes does not make you more of a patriot.
No, good point. Not according to Joe Biden. I remember when he was running, he was Obama's running mate as vice president. He was doing an interview. He said it right there. He said, it's time for us to be more patriotic. That means paying more taxes.
Charitable giving is a tax write-off for a reason. Because it benefits those who need it, and it benefits those who have it. So those are tax codes that you wouldn't want to change, but at the same time, there are things that maybe they should look at. And they do look at it every 20 years. But it's like the Supreme Court. If something really big comes up, what kind of Supreme Court are you going to have when it comes up? We don't know until it happens. So you just never know how this stuff is going to play out. But I do know one thing. The rules for all of us, and I don't care which state you live in, versus the District of Columbia, which is not a state, it's a world of difference. It might as well be a different country.
Well, maybe we should all move there.
No,
of course, then the crime is out of control.
Yeah, I've been there.
I don't want to be there. It's in theory. But
carjacking in D.C. is up over 400%.
Well, how come they're not doing it to elected officials? Okay, how come they never get carjacked? You know why? Because they've got armed guards that we pay for. Okay, and we pay for it through them taking the taxes over and over and over. You know, the tax code is written, it's so complicated. It's so in-depth that if they want you, they're going to get you. They will. There is something in that tax code that they'd be able to get practically anybody on something with an extensive audit.
They're not going after Al Sharpton.
No, they're not going after Al Sharpton. They're not going after Louis Farrakhan. You don't think they're going to go after Oprah? All right, they're not going to go after, any of these big influential people, especially the ones that represent the minorities, because then guess what you are? A racist. Okay?
Well,
they're not going to go after RuPaul. They won't go after RuPaul because then you're a bigot. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you like?
Right.
All right. Thanks for the call.
There it is.
All right. We're going to take our last break. And when we come back, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit.
Ooh.
Okay. Because we've got a big announcement about something that's going to happen here in Lafayette.
Nice.
Stay tuned.
News Talk 96.5 KPL broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Find out more about how they can help you at matthew-james.com.
Don's Automotive Group is your truck superstore. Locations in Lafayette, Broussard, and Carencro. We are overstocked and units are priced to sell. With access to hundreds of pre-owned vehicles, Don's offers one of the largest inventory of pre-owned vehicles in the U.S. If we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it. Check us out online at dwdonsautomotivegroup.com. Over 3,000 five-star reviews, unique customized inventory, free maintenance plan options, and more. Shop Don's and join the DW family today.
LA 22-13416. Offices in Alexandria, Lafayette, and Marksville. Results may vary.
Car accidents aren't the only kind of accidents you can file a claim for. I'm Brian Kubero. In my lifetime, I've helped thousands of accident victims. Car, truck, maritime, at work, and more. And while no two accidents are ever alike, one thing is true of all of them. It always pays to do it right. Call me, Brian Kubero, at 337-HELP-NOW or visit doitright.com.
7-Eleven, 2 lucky numbers, 1 lucky day.
Terry's right. 7-Eleven could be your lucky day in the 7-Eleven Luckiest Day of the Year cash giveaway this Tuesday, July 11th at Coshada Casino Resort. Come to Coshada July 11th to win your share of over $20,000 in cash with cash drawings every half hour starting at 5 p.m. and the grand prize drawing at 9. one lucky slot winner and one lucky table game winner are going home with $7,777 in cash each. Just be actively playing a slot or table game with your free Advantage Club card at the time of the drawings, and you can win. This July 11th, head to Coshada and find out if 7-Eleven will be your lucky day in the 7-Eleven Luckiest Day of the Year cash giveaway. Tuesday at Coshada, Louisiana's best bet.
It's all too obvious. We're being distracted by meaningless news headlines. When you dig to find the truth, you discover that the American way of life is being threatened by the institutions we used to trust. It's easy to see the future holds more food shortages, systematic controls, and government overreach. But instead of throwing up their hands, folks are preparing. They're taking steps to be self-reliant and investing in emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy to get started and join the ranks with this limited-time offer. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and get their top-selling 4-week emergency food kit. Enjoy tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get new lower pricing this week on these 4-week emergency food kits. Secure at least one food kit for each member of your family. They ship free, too. Those who know what's coming are preparing. Smart folks. Go to mypatriotsupply.com right now. mypatriotsupply.com.
Extra crispy, coming up from Piggly Wiggly. Love fried chicken? Well, do you want it the crispiest it can get? Here are a few tips to get you there. First, tenderize it using a needle tenderizer and then brine it. That'll keep it juicy. Add a little cornstarch to your flour, and after you dredge it, make sure you push the flour mixture in real hard. I mean, put all your weight into it. Make it stick to that meat. And you might want to fry it twice. First, blanch it about 275, and then after it cools, finish frying it. Do all this, and you should wake the neighbors when you bite into your next drumstick.
For more great ideas, visit gotothepig.com.
Check out the Crazy 8 deals at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly. This week, USDA 73% lean ground beef, $2.88 a pound. Chicken wings, $1.88 a pound. And extra large white or red seedless grapes, $1.88 a pound. In Cecilia, Church Point, Opelousas, Rain, and Scott. Prices good through July 11th.
You're listening to the best of Shannon is Offsides right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
All right, so the show's been kind of dark today. Okay, yeah, it's been kind of dark. Too. You know, it started off really nice hearing about your beautiful vacation. Then we talked about these poor people that may be at the bottom of the ocean dying in their private
their cruise is going much worse than
Yes, and then we talked about AI, and it's going to kill us all.
Yeah.
Okay, then we talked about Hunter Biden.
Who's probably going to cause AI to kill us.
He's going to, that's exactly right. Right now, he's doing lines of coke on some stripper's belly that he's celebrating. Hey, look, man, I mean, if the shoe fits, I mean, would you think now he's going to be clean and sober? No. He's, he's a partier. He's a party animal. Fine. I don't care. Go have fun. But you can't do
Roxbury. Go for it, bro.
Exactly. But you know what? Your father's the president. You got to tune it down a little bit. All right, so we talked about Hunter Biden, and we talked about the government, and we talked about taxes. It's very dark. But we're going to finish it with something a little bit more entertaining and lighthearted. So Lafayette, 2 big news stories that are both going to be a lot of fun.
I'm so excited. Are they about me?
No, that's what makes it good.
Oh.
Wheel of Fortune coming to Lafayette.
Price is Right.
I'm sorry, Price is Right. Price is Right. I'm thinking of Wheel of Fortune. No, obviously. Wheel of Fortune. I was thinking of Wheel of Fortune because last week we were talking about best replacements for Pat Sajak.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But The Price is Right is coming to Lafayette. Now, I and most people identify The Price is Right with when I was sick. Okay, because when you're a kid, you get to stay home. It's the only time you get to see The Price is Right. Okay, when you're sick, you get to stay home. Price is Right wasn't on Saturday morning. So The Price is Right only was on mornings. I think it was on 10 o'clock, probably still is. And only time you got to see it was when you were home sick.
You know we're going to be horrible at this, right?
What?
Acadiana people. We're going to be horrible at this.
At Price is Right?
Yeah, because we're going to be like trying to bid on a bag of crackling. And
well, how much is this? Well, 1 sack of crawfish.
Well, here's my favorite thing. Well, it depends upon where you go. Someone's going to be like, at Piggly Wiggly, at Adrian's? Am I going to Walmart? Where am I going?
That's a good point.
Or are we going to Sam? If we're going to Sam, I'll buy in bulk.
Right.
Renee is going to be on the Price is Right. And when he does,
you know what?
I'm watching.
It's a good point. All right. So the question is, who should be on the Price is Right? Okay. Renee is way up there. Okay. We got to get Renee on the Price is Right. Let's see. Who else should be on the Price is Right? Perillo. Okay.
Yeah.
Rob Perillo.
Yeah.
All right. He'd be good on the Price is Right. Me.
Ooh.
I want to be on the Price. Let me tell you, I don't care if I lose or anything. I want to spin that damn wheel.
If Bernie was on, she'd just start laughing.
Bernie could be on the Price is Right. Okay.
Moon would argue with Drew Carey about what the price was.
That's a very good point.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. Let's see. We could get somebody from UL.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be really good. Somebody from UL. We could get
Josh Guillory, the parish president, to do it.
Yeah.
He'd rig the wheel.
We did not say that.
It was a joke.
Okay.
Come on. You can't put me on the show.
No.
All
right. You could put Mark Broussard.
He would be great.
Mark Broussard
would
could
do
be
his
on
own
there.
theme music.
That's right. We could do Jamie Bergeron. We could do Rockin' Doopsie.
We could do Wayne Toops.
You know what would be really
he's
cool?
Our own Hunter Biden.
What would be so super cool is if they did have a Zydeco or Cajun band like the ones we're talking about. Awesome. That would be like the intro and the bumper music. On stage.
Now, for when they do the remote prices right, did you know that they actually go and find the average price of goods in the area that they're producing? Otherwise, nobody would ever win the game because it used to be in California.
Right.
And so you'd be like, okay, television city in California.
Yeah. Can of tuna, $15.
Yeah. But I mean, and if you go to Connecticut, it's like $27.50. But, you go to Mississippi, and it's $4. Or Lafayette, our cost of living is not high.
Yeah. Well, what would be fun, is if they did have some local items. Strategic, just
a jar of brew.
That's exactly right. A sack of crawfish.
Or a large bag of rice that you can't buy anywhere but here because you can buy the tiny bag of rices in any other city in the country or world. I've tried, but you can't find a big one.
Yep. That would be great. That would be cool if they did that. Crackling.
This 12-cup rice cooker.
Right.
You're not going to find that anywhere.
No, you're not. Those would be fun items to have that would be specific to this geographical area. So, all right. So we've got a band, Zydeco local band playing the bumper music.
Yeah.
All right. We've got local items. Okay.
Like the cast of Swamp People as the contestants. Next.
Swamp People would be good. Let's see. Who else? We said Perillo. We saw Wayne Toops. We said Wayne Toops. Rockin' Doopsie. Bergeron. You said Josh Guillory. Mark Broussard. Let's see. Who else? Who else would be good?
Adam Sandler. Anyway, I have a question. You know what I'm worried about?
No.
That they ruin this by doing stereotypes that are New Orleans and not from here. Like all of a sudden they do the thing and you hear New Orleans jazz and a second line comes out.
Yeah.
That would be, I'd be like, really? Please do your research.
Yeah.
Price
and then
is
the
right.
people from
do
New Orleans.
good research, please.
And then the people from New Orleans would be like having this pathetic sounding French accent, which they don't speak in New Orleans. Like if you go to, if you watch television shows that are based in New Orleans or movies, they have all the people from New Orleans speaking like broken French, like trying to sound like they're from here. But people from New Orleans don't sound anything like that. They sound like they're from Jersey.
I was on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise last week. We talked about it. I wore my UL hoodie that I have.
Yeah.
It just says Louisiana with a fleur-de-lis.
Yep.
And people come up to me and go, isn't that supposed to be black and gold? Aren't you from New Orleans? No. People live in Louisiana other than in New Orleans. New Orleans is not a state. It's just a city on the toe of the foot.
Yeah. Well,
the fungusy toe on the foot.
Well, Lafayette or Acadiana and New Orleans are so incredibly different from one another. All right.
But people
in every
loop them
way
together.
That's exactly right. But, Acadiana New Orleans is different from the rest of the state as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Northern Louisiana isn't anything like it is here.
You can cut everything above Alexandria, and you could literally give it to Texas, Arkansas, or Mississippi, and nobody would know.
Nobody would know. That's exactly right.
It's just that classic country, deep forest Americana. That's what's up there. It's not anything specifically cultural.
Mm-hmm.
Cajuns have their own specific culture. Texans have their culture.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans has a separate culture.
Very, very different.
I consider New Orleans to be the second biggest melting pot in American history. Number one being New York City. But when I think of New Orleans, I think of in the 1800s and 1700s, the influx of immigrants that really changed that city.
Yeah, I mean,
its own unique identity.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize the incredible amount of Italian immigrants.
Yes.
All you got to go walk around a cemetery, and read the names. It's unbelievable how many Italian people don't identify Italians with New Orleans. Nevertheless, the Price is Right is coming. Okay, the price.
We'll see how it goes.
Now, a lot of things have happened here. Okay, we've got big stories that have come out of Lafayette.
Yeah.
And now we're getting a Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
We're getting a Top Golf. And, but Lafayette is growing exponentially, right?
But somebody's coming back. Somebody's making a comeback.
Somebody is making a comeback.
Ooh.
Denny's.
Denny's coming back?
Denny's is coming back. So in one day, we found out that family, excuse me.
See, you've done Wheel of
mixed it
Fortune,
all up,
Family
okay?
Feud.
Because I can't stand these damn games, all right? The Price is Right is coming to Lafayette, and so is Denny's. How do you like Denny's?
I'm more of a Theo Vaughn opinion of Denny's. I don't care for it. I don't like any.
Listen, you can tell the truth because you know why? They haven't advertised with us yet.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm not a fan of breakfast places so much. I like Cracker Barrel, but none of them, I don't like that plain breakfast food.
Yeah.
If I do breakfast food, it's going to be cracklins and Buddha. I'm going to stay true to.
See, I love breakfast
stay
food.
True.
Yeah, I love breakfast food, and I like Cracker Barrel the most. Okay, that's they get that thick bacon. You
ever had their chicken and dumplings? It's actually really good.
I have, and I've had a lot of other things there. I like Cracker Barrel. I like the meatloaf is very good. They've got good roast beef dinners and such. Great hamburgers over there at Cracker Barrel. Nevertheless, the Price is Right. Somebody's going to spin that wheel, and we've got Denny's. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Old School Nerd, for returning. Be back tomorrow. Gary Crews, 4 o'clock.
Fox News commentary.
Bud Light used to be America's top beer, but now it's not even in the top 10. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Bud Lighted is now a verb as the embattled beer brand plummets to new lows. After that atrocious ad partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, Bud Light has been slipping on down the beverage totem pole and now sits at number 14 on the list. Last year, the beer sat at number 9, so this is significant. Bud Light's been working overtime to help us forget about their Mulvaney transgression, even teaming up with Chief star Travis Kelce for an ad in a desperate attempt to resurrect the brand from the dead. But guess what? We haven't forgotten, and we certainly haven't forgiven. Before the Dylan Mulvaney gaffe, the marketing department admittedly hoped to ditch the macho and fratty connotations that came along with Bud Light. And they sure did that all right. I hope they're happy with themselves because no red-blooded American males or females will be picking up a Bud Light anytime soon. You can bet on that. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-888-201-7082, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-888-201-7082. Call now and you will receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-888-201-7082 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-888-201-7082.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
7-Eleven, 2 lucky numbers, 1 lucky day.
Terry's right. 7-Eleven could be your lucky day in the 7-Eleven Luckiest Day of the Year cash giveaway this Tuesday, July 11th at Coshada Casino Resort. Come to Coshada July 11th to win your share of over $20,000 in cash with cash drawings every half hour starting at 5 p.m. and the grand prize drawing at 9. One lucky slot winner and one lucky table game winner are going home with $7,777 in cash each. Just be actively playing a slot or table game with your free Advantage Club card at the time of the drawings, and you can win. This July 11th, head to Coshada and find out if 7-Eleven will be your lucky day in the 7-Eleven Luckiest Day of the Year cash giveaway. Tuesday at Coshada, Louisiana's best bet.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios, online at matthew-james.com.
Who did it belong to? I'm Kevin Uretsky, Fox News. Republican House lawmakers are demanding answers about the cocaine found at the White House.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer wanted a briefing on Friday. Lawmakers are losing patience. The White House has an exhaustive network of cameras and security logs. They found the coke at an entrance used by staff and official visitors. GOP members wonder why there's a delay.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. The Secret Service will hold a briefing on the matter on Thursday. Sweden now appears headed for NATO membership after a surprise announcement today from NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg.
The chief of NATO saying that the monumental change has been made, that Turkey's president has now agreed to approve Sweden's bid to join NATO. All of this coming just on the eve of the NATO summit, which will be held in Lithuania.